Okay, great.
So yeah, so from now on, it's being recorded. So guys, before we start, I want to make a regular announcement that this webinar has been organized by the Weekly Fasting Group. It's a WhatsApp group of people from all over the world, and we cultivate the habit of fasting once a week for at least 24 hours, and there are people who extend it up to 36 hours and more. So if you're watching this YouTube video and this idea appeals to you, so you will find my WhatsApp number. My name is Arik, and you want to join the group, then you just write me a WhatsApp message with your name and I will happily add you. Yeah, so it's a great habit of fasting once a week. Okay, and today we have a very special subject, the subject that comes up a lot at almost any webinar that we have here, the subject of urine therapy or Orine therapy. There are people who call it different names. And we have with us our expert of today, Tucca. She's originally from Turkey, but she lives in the States. And we will present her more after a short breathing session, because we have this kind of breath work that Tucca is going to lead. And after that, we will delve into our subject, guys. So let's start. So Tucca, over to you.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you so much for having me and welcome everyone. Yes, so today I'll be talking about Orin alchemy, and Eric suggested that we start with a quick meditation for like 7 minutes. So this is the second time I'll be guiding this, so bear with me, but this is a quick meditation that I learned from Joe Dispenza. It's about bringing the breath from the ether into the heart, and then also from the earth into the heart, and merging it at the heart space. So as you know, we always, say like the mind thinks, but the heart knows. So we're going to be activating our heart space, and then we'll be talking about Orin alchemy with, from the eyes of our hearts. So,
Absolutely.
so I'll quickly explain how to do it. And so what we do is we imagine a connection between your sacrum and the earth, like as if there's a thin line there, or as if you're a tree and you have roots connected to the earth. You imagine this connection, and then you draw your breath from the sacrum and hold it in your first chakra, second, third, and then into your heart. And then in your heart, you hold it for as long as you like, for about like 10 seconds or 15 seconds, and then you release. So you do all of this through the nose. We don't use the mouth. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the nose. And then the second part, we can do this twice. And then the second part is inhaling through your crown chakra. So we imagine this connection again between your crown and the ether, and you draw this energy through your crown, you hold it in your head area, in your throat chakra, and then you bring it back to your heart again. So we merge these energies in our heart space. When you're holding your breath, you'll feel your heartbeats getting more rapid, and that's what we want. So
Tucca, and I'm sorry, but sacrum means the lowest chakra. What is sacrum?
Sacrum means, yes, the end of the tailbone. So you bring the energy literally from your first chakra up into your second, third, and into your fourth, which is the heart.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll be still guiding, but I want to explain it beforehand. So let's start with so first, your left hand on your heart, and on your right hand goes above. So take a deep breath. Now take one more time and release it all out. Once you release all the air, Imagine this connection through your sacrum and the earth, and drawing all the breath through your sacrum. Exhale all out, and then inhale. Lock it in the first chakra, second chakra, and then one more time in your heart chakra. And release through the nose. So let's do this one more time. Imagine the connection you have between you and the earth. Exhale all the air out through your nose. And then inhale from your first chakra. Lock it into your second chakra. Lock it into your third chakra. Lock it. And then bring into your heart space. Hold it. And release through the nose. Okay, so let's do the same with the ether. Imagine your crown chakra being connected to the entire universe, to the ether. Imagine this invisible connection and exhale all the air out through your nose and inhale through your crown. Hold it in your head area. Bring it down to your throat and down to your heart chakra and hold it. And exhale through the nose. Let's do this one more time. Imagine the invisible connection you have between you, your head area, and the whole universe. And exhale all the air out. And inhale through your crown. Hold it in your head area. Bring it down to your throat and then down to your heart. And release through your nose. So through the exhale and the inhale, the heartbeat slows down, but then when you hold it in your heart, it really gets rapid, and I feel like it really activates the heart space. So thank you for sharing this breath with me.
Thank you so much, Tochi. Yeah, I could really feel that I'm becoming kind of a hollow space for energy, like with the roots in the earth and with the roots in the space, like
Mhm.
like a channel for energy.
Absolutely, yes. And it's
Yeah,
interesting that, ether, earth, and heart are all made up of the same letters. They're all one, actually. Merge these two energies at the heart all the time, even without realizing. But doing this practice makes it more visible for the body.
absolutely, absolutely. Okay, Tuche, so thank you very much for coming. Thank you for very much for enlightening us on this very interesting subject of Orin therapy. For the beginning, because people there are lots of people who don't really know you and don't know much about you, even though I put in one of the promotion for this webinar, I put the link to your social media. But could you please tell us about your background? Because I know that you have a very rich background in terms of learning about nutrition, about different healing modalities, Dr. Morse. So please tell us about all of your credentials in this realm.
Sure. So I started my journey around 7 years ago. So I was born in London, grew up in Turkey, and then moved to United States when I was 25. But by the time I came here, I was not in a good health, not in good health. So I was looking for ways to help myself, and then I came across this lifestyle named raw veganism, and almost like overnight I changed my lifestyle and quit eating all kinds of animal products, animal flesh, and including like things like processed foods, gluten and dairy, and I started mainly eating a living foods diet. So this by itself helped me so much. At the time, I had a list of ailments such as PCOS, hypothyroidism, hyperglycemia, which is insulin resistance. It's an onset of diabetes. And I had cystic acne and digestive issues and so much more, irregular periods, menstrual cycle, which is why I was put on so many medications at the time, thyroid medications, birth control pills, and which really, in essence, like toxicate the body even more. So I was really looking for ways to help myself. And then I came across Dr. Morris, and I've been to his School of Detoxification, International School of Detoxification, and I got my certificate from there and became a certified detoxification specialist. And I also got my education of iridology from him. So those were really helpful on my journey, because even like changing my diet to raw veganism, I was still thinking that because I had a background of diabetes, I was still thinking that fruit is not good for me. It has too much sugar, and all those kind of things. So, but Dr. Morse really opened my eyes to the value of fruit. And with his education, both online and in person, I became a fruitarian almost. I was like mostly consuming fruits, and like 10% or 20% of my food intake was greens and vegetables. So with that alone, I was able to heal my diabetes, and my A1C levels went down, and I was free of medication, and it was like amazing. So just by the help of diet, I was really like able to help myself a lot. But then I was still dabbling with some other ailments such as PCOS and acne and digestive issues and all of that. So I think I was 3 years raw vegan, yet I was still dabbling with these issues. And by the time I had done so many juice fasts, like 90-day only grape juice, lemon juice fast, including usually 2 days of dry fasting every week. And my maximum was like 60 hours. And I was also using herbal teas and tinctures from Dr. Morse's website, and what else? So yeah, mostly these. And I was seeing benefits, but I was still not able to help my acne. I still had acne, and my digestive issues were still there. Even on the grape juice, lemon juice, I would get so bloated. And then my irregular cycles were still irregular. So even though I was like shedding some unwanted weight, and feeling lighter, like I was sleeping less and had still energy to go on my day, but yeah, I was still having these symptoms. So, and I did this many times. So my longest was 90 days, but then I also did multiple 45-day, 60-day, 30-day juice fast. I was pretty much living on juice. And practicing dry fasting, like 1 day a week, 2 days a week. So, but yeah, I still had the symptoms and I didn't know how to help myself. I was trying glandulars, tinctures, herbal teas, juicing, raw vegan diet, all these kind of things. Yet still I was having symptoms. So one day, a friend of mine told me about Orin therapy. And so I got all the books on Amazon that are related to Orin therapy and started reading them. And the first one was The Water of Life from um, John Armstrong. Oh, sorry, I didn't realize I'm getting questions. Yes, Dr.
No, but that's fine. That's absolutely fine. Please go on. But I would like to clarify something, because this name Orin therapy, it might be unfamiliar to many people. Like people know urine, you know. So what is this word Orin, and why do the people who are into that call it Orin? What does it mean?
Thank you for asking that question. So the original name is Orin. It comes from aura, from the name of the color gold, as the color of urine is gold. And also the Greek name and the Spanish name is also Orin. So we like to call it Orin because it also has a better phonetic. As you know, language has a very like a power to influence your thoughts.
Absolutely.
And urine, the sound has always been used for things that are dirty, like even in the name dirty, dirt, dirt, like dirt, dirty, like that sound has
Yes, yes,
always been
yes.
used for things that are nasty, dirty, and that's the perception we are getting by saying urine, as if it's a waste, as if it's like a nasty product that our body is shedding, but actually it's not the case. It's our golden elixir of life. So I like to call it Orin, as it's the original name. And also we can hear the sound in other words like organism, orchestra, orgasm. Like or sound has always been used for aura,
Wow.
things that are golden, or energy, or organism, for things that are compact and whole, like
Right.
orchestra. So that's why we like to use this name, because we are trying to change this perception of people thinking that it's a waste.
Okay, that's very interesting. Okay, Tucci, so please go on. It's very interesting to listen to your life story. Okay, so you said that you took that you read almost every book available on this subject, yeah, and then what happened next?
Yes, and then especially the book, The Perfect Medicine by Martha Christie, and also Water of Life by John Armstrong. Those two books changed my life. I saw all the testimonials there. It was helping pretty much with every disease out there, and people were able to reverse it by both drinking and having it applied onto your system systematically, and also by applying it topically, which is rubbing it on your skin. So after reading these books and seeing all the science behind it, I was definitely convinced. So I started drinking it. This is around 5 years ago. And just by drinking 1 cup a day for a month. At the end of that month, I got my menstrual cycle. And
Wow.
since then, it has been regular for the last 5 years.
Wow. That is
Yes, I
amazing.
mean, to me, that was like the proof, because up to that point, I was working on it so much. I was on glandulars, herbal teas, herbs, tinctures, everything, juicing, juice fasts. I was trying everything out there, and yet my period would come every 2 months, 6 months, would never be regular. And I
Mhm.
was seen by doctors. They would say my hypothalamus gland is not working well, my clock is not good, all
Okay.
sorts of things. And I was put on birth control pills to regulate it. And yet that was toxicating my liver even more. And so just by drinking 1 cup a day, I mean, I wasn't even fasting on it. I wasn't even like drinking a bottle a day. I was just drinking my morning Orin, 1 cup a day. And then it's been regular since then. And just by seeing that, I was like, okay, there's some magic in this, and I have to keep drinking it, because I don't know what
Wow.
it is doing to my body, but it's working.
Wow, that's amazing. So, Tucci, so how was it? How was the first time? Could you describe the first time that you drank your own urine? How was it like? How was the experience?
The experience was much better than I thought. I thought it would taste really bad. I thought I would like maybe, how do you say, like gag,
Uh-huh.
or but it wasn't. It was just because I had just peed it out. It was warm, and it was like drinking warm water. Yeah, it didn't have, I mean, I was like growing in for 3 years, so my diet was pretty clean. So I didn't have any like nasty smells, or the color was pretty transparent. It wasn't cloudy, so it seemed pretty clean to me. And I had it, and I was like, okay, it's not as bad as I thought. It's like warm water.
Mm,
That's what I thought. Yeah. In the morning, it's a little bit bitter. And I remember feeling that too, a little bitterness to it. But the most, the feeling that I got the most, it was like bitter, warm tea almost.
wow. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, good. And then what happened next? Like,
So for 3 years, I, well, not for 3 years, for, I think for another 2 years, I just um, kept drinking it. I wouldn't fast on it at all. I just increased my dose. So from 1 glass, I started drinking 1 bottle a day, and then 2 bottles a day, 3 bottles a day. And in time, I saw that the more I increase it, I would get fever at the end of the day. But
mhm.
reading all the books, I knew that this was a detox symptom, and I never got worried because I also tested it so many times. The fever was not coming because I'm catching a cold or anything. It would come only when I drink too much, or not too much, but like more than usual.
Mhm.
So when I drink like 1 bottle or 2 bottles a day, I would get like slight fever, and then in the morning it would be gone. So I knew that my body was already shedding some toxins into my bloodstream, and my body was increasing the temperature to kill all the pathogens that were released. So I just took it one day at a time, and then 2 years later, I remember we were on a road trip in Turkey, and I wanted to like loop my water again. I was like, we were in the car most of the time, and we weren't stopping by to get food, and I fasted on it. So I did 4 day Orin fast. And that experience changed my life because, oh, sorry, it says your internet connection is unstable. Hope you can hear me well.
Yeah, yeah, it gets interrupted a little bit, but in general, we can hear you. Yeah, we can hear you well.
Okay, that's good. So yeah, after the Orin fast, my skin got clear, and it was already getting better, but I was still getting some cystic acne. And then after those 4 days, my skin got clear, and my PCOS was already healed. I think that was
Okay, so we lost Tucca. Tucca, we lost you. Like it got interrupted, and now you have to unmute yourself.
Okay, sorry, I got kicked out.
Yeah. But it looks like now the quality is better. So you said that you were in the middle of telling us about the Orin fasting, that you did this fasting for 4 days and it changed your life, and then we lost you. So
Oh, okay, sorry about that. So yeah, I did this 4-day Orine fast, and then my skin got clear for the first time in my life since I was 15 years old, probably. Because
wow.
since then I always had like breakouts, and so when I got clear skin and did the Orine fast, I was 30 years old. So I was dabbling with this for 15 years, and finally it got clear, and I was like the happiest person. So since then, I've been really a big advocate of Orin Alchemy, and now I kind of like devoted my IGTV, Instagram TV on interviews with people who are practicing this therapy and getting benefits, because I think it really has a great potential to help so many people. You know, it frees you from any kind of medication, any type of supplements, anything really. It taught me that we actually have this medicine within us, yet we're seeing it as a waste, you know, but we are here to change it. So I'm really happy to be here spreading this message.
Wow, Tuccia, that is so inspiring. And have you ever inquired into the process of how this Orin, what this Orin or urine does to the body, how it acts on the body, so people get rid of different diseases and stuff like that?
Sure. So first of all, what urine is that so your blood travels your body, right, all day long, and it collects all the information and produces the antibodies for whatever pathogen you may have, whether it's a virus or a bacteria. And then this blood gets filtered through the liver first, and then the waste is dumped into the colon, and the clean blood gets filtered through millions of nephrons in the kidneys and becomes the urine. So whatever is in your urine was actually in your blood first. So, you know, some people think, oh, it's a waste and there might be toxins in it. Should I be, you know, concerned about it? It was already in your blood anyways. It already traveled all your body. And the thing is, your urine is actually cleaner than your blood. Its medical term is ultrafiltered plasma. So when you have a, you know, blood test and they withdraw blood from you, and in the tube you see the red part at the bottom and the white part at the top, that plasma part at the top is actually your urine. It's the same thing, which is why, you know, during the pandemic they were doing plasma therapy, getting the plasma from people where the antibodies are already there and giving to the person who is in need, who is maybe in the process of recovering. So the antibodies are already in that plasma portion, and your urine is that plasma portion of the blood, which has all the antibodies that you need. It's your perfect medicine. It's customized for you, for the pathogens that you may have in your body, because whatever pathogen there is in the body, your body makes the antibody for it, and that comes out in the urine. So what it does when we drink it is that we loop these antibodies back into the body. So this is also very obvious when it comes to bug bites, like people who are allergic to wasps or bees or mosquitoes, and you know, their skin swells up and they can't breathe. So what happens is when we get this venom from a bug bite, the body produces the antibody for that venom in 20 seconds. So that gets produced in your blood in 20 seconds. And when you pee it out, that antibody is in your urine. So when you drink it, people who have allergies to anything, this can be peanuts, this can be any type of nuts really, or bug bites, then they don't get that allergic reaction because the antibody in the urine already takes care of it. Now, why does all the diseases happen, right? They're either due to toxicity, which can be like heavy metals or environmental toxins, airborne toxins, or they're pathogens, which are viruses and bacteria. So when we loop our urine back in, we're taking in these antibodies and they're taking care of these pathogens, and then the disease goes away. So that's what it does. But there's so many things it does in addition to this. It's the only negatively charged water out there. And it's so sterile. I mean, it's antibacterial, antifungal, antiparasitic, anti-cancer. I mean, so anti. It's like the most sterile water that we can ever find in the entire universe. Wow. And it's so electrically negatively charged that because all the toxins are positively charged, when we intake this water back in, it attracts all these positively charged toxins into its structure, and we flush it out of the body. If it weren't negatively charged, like spring water or reverse osmosis water or tap water, or even juices, even the fruit juices are not negatively charged. Only our urine, and also I think Kangen water, but Kangen water is like so artificially negatively charged. It's not organic. It has like, it doesn't have carbon attached to the water. So it's not organic minerals. It's inorganic. It's very artificially made. And it's so highly negatively charged. It's like minus 600, whereas your urine is, your Orin is minus, your fresh Orin is around minus 50 to minus 100. If you age it, which we will talk about later, if you let it sit in a bottle and let it evolve, then it's negatively charged, gets higher and higher, and it becomes around like minus 70 to minus 150. I have like a video on my Instagram where, you know, people can check it out. I have an ORP meter, and I'm testing all the Orin samples I have, and I tested spring water, distilled water, tap water, orange juice, freshly squeezed orange juice, and they were all positively charged. And only our water is negatively charged, which is in its, you know, in as a natural form. I'm not talking about Kangen water. So that's by itself is such a strong element, because that's what it does in the body. You know, when we drink this water, because it's so highly negatively charged, it becomes a magnet for all these toxins that are positively charged. So it attracts them, and then, you know, becomes a hole, and then gets flushed out of the body. So it's a great broom, you know, it cleanses the body. And also, I mean, I can talk about this for hours really, but there's one more element that is very important. It's very alkalizing, and also it's very hydrating. So because it's such a structured water, and there are also books about, you know, where it talks about this water being the fourth stage of water, where it's not gas, nor liquid, nor solid, it's plasma. So it's the fourth stage, where it's like gel-like. So what the reason why it hydrates us so well is because it's structured. It's highly structured form. And because it's in this fourth stage of water, because it's gel-like and plasma, it has the capability to hydrate our cells, because it penetrates through the cells with osmosis and then really hydrates the cells on a deep level. Whereas we think that regular water hydrates us, but it doesn't. It just flushes the colon from solid foods, but it doesn't necessarily, in a cellular level, doesn't necessarily hydrate us. So it needs to be structured water, either fruit juices, vegetable juices, which is actually the pea of the fruit, the tree, because it's the water of the tree, it's the pea of the fruit, the tree, or it should be our own water. I think only these two structured waters really have the capability to hydrate us. So what happens is through this hydration, we eliminate the toxins, we stay young. As you may know, we are made out of water to 70 to 80%. However, if you look at a person who may have cancer, they have 60% water in their body. And due to dehydration and acidity, that's when the disease forms. That's when the pathogens have an environment to multiply and grow. So when you hydrate the body and this water percentage goes high and high, to 70%, 80%, there's really no possibility for any disease to take place. So all of them, one by one, just go away and leave the body. Even though you don't use any herbs, no supplements, no medication, just by hydration and alkalizing and antibodies, all of these actually work synergistically. And also the stem cells. So that's the last one I want to mention. There's a lot of studies where they found millions of stem cells in our golden elixir. And that is usually confused with the waste, because when you age the urine, Orin, what happens is in time, these stem cells encapsulate some other cells and turn into white. And the reason is that the stem cells turn into white blood cells, and that's why it looks like white. But, some people think that it's a waste, it's a lymphatic waste. That's why it sinks at the bottom and we shouldn't be drinking it. It's acidic, but it's on the contrary. It's just the stem cells turning into white blood cells. And when you drink it in the fresh form or in the aged form, what happens is these stem cells, which are the original form of cells, which haven't turned into a skin cell or a liver cell or a bone cell yet, these stem cells can turn into any cells in the body that wherever the body needs help with. So let's say you have a scar tissue in your liver, it will become the liver cell. Let's say you need help with your adrenal glands, it will become the adrenal glands, gland tissue. And so these stem cells really have the power to regenerate any organ or gland in the body. And that's where I think the youth also comes from, like the youth it brings. Because when you look at people who are practicing Orine therapy, you will also see that they stay young. Their skin is always like plump and like, I think that's the stem cells regenerating the skin and the organs and everything. I'm also 35 years old, but people think I'm like in my 20s. So I think
that's what I thought. I thought you were like 24, 23,
Oh,
25, and then you mentioned like when I was 30 years old, and I was thinking, okay, how come? Like, because you look really, really young.
Thank you. I think it's definitely the Orine therapy and the living foods, I think.
That's amazing. Tucci, I didn't really get this factor of of plasma being jelly-like, because urine, like, or Orine, is not jelly-like, like it's liquid. So what did you mean by saying that it was jelly-like? Just didn't get it.
Sure. So there are two ways to see or feel it. People who apply Orin on their skin usually feel that. So when you apply it on your skin and rub it, you will feel that it turns into a slimy texture.
Mm.
It's like it becomes slimy and like the body absorbs it right away. And that's where when I feel the slimy jelly like texture. When
Ah,
you
okay.
look at it, you don't see it much, but when you rub it on your skin, you feel like it's turning into this gel-like structure. And also, um, one time I was in the ocean and I had to pee. So I peed in the ocean and I was like, it was a stale water. So I was looking down in the water and then I saw, as my pee was coming out, I saw how different that was to the ocean
Mm.
water. Because
Okay.
I could differentiate my pee with the ocean water. It was like
Mm.
almost like gel, like it was like getting differentiated by the ocean water. It wasn't
Mhm.
like mixing up right away.
Yeah.
I thought that's also related to it being like plasma. However, that's just my observation. I didn't read this anywhere.
Okay. Okay. To change
Mhm.
another thing that I didn't get, it's about stem cells. So actually, I got it, but in Dr. Morse's teachings, what he calls sediment, yeah, like kidney filtration. Is it the same thing that you meant, like because people think that kidney filtrations means waste products, but that's what you meant by saying that those are stem cells, or it is
Yes.
something else? Yeah.
Yes, it's the same thing. What Dr. Morse calls as sediments, uh, for us, it's stem cells, and this has been proven. I have the scientific documentation. I can send it to anyone who would like to read it. They can send me a DM on Instagram and I can forward it to them. So, and I also have scientist friends who are practicing Orine therapy, and they looked at it under the microscope. They said that it's the stem cell turning into a white blood cell encapsulating another cell.
Mm.
So I know Dr. Morse says it's a sediment, but the thing is, the kidneys are, on the contrary, they are not excretory organs, they are regulatory organs.
Mhm.
Anything that comes out from our frontal side of our body is clean, whether it's our saliva, our the breast milk of a woman, and the semen, the urine, all of these. The only waste is coming from our rear.
Mm.
So, I mean, if you think about it, we would be a really like bad design if we had like two portals where we had to release the waste. If your Orin was a waste, why wouldn't it come from the same place that the feces come out, right? I mean, I'm sure everybody experienced diarrhea in their life
Mhm.
where, you know, water and feces all come together. Why wouldn't it all come from the same channel? But it gets separated through the help of another organ, becomes this golden water, and then the waste is from the back. I mean, I don't see. And also another one, um, if it were a waste, why would it come from the same channel that the semen, the life, is coming out from for men, right?
Mm.
It's coming out from the same channel that the semen, the life, is coming from. That's where the whole life formation is happening. I mean, if it were a waste, we would be such a bad, poor design where the waste and the life is coming out from the same channel. It just doesn't make sense. I mean, just by thinking about this, I think you can, not by thinking from the mind, but knowing by heart, you can see that this water is sterile. It's your medicine. It has all the antibodies, stem cells that you need. It has the power to regenerate your organs, keep you young, we don't come here to experience all these sicknesses and diseases and uncomfort. We come here to be joy and love that we are. That's our true essence. And this golden elixir really brings us back to that point where, you know, it helps all the toxins getting released from the body, and you find so much joy in your heart. People who practice Orin therapy say this all the time. When I drink it, when I loop it during the day, I always feel so much joy in my heart. I have so much love for people around me. I have so much love for myself. I mean, it doesn't only affect you in the physical form, it also affects you spiritually, emotionally, mentally. It affects all dimensional bodies, your astral body, everything.
Very good. Very, very interesting. Okay, guys. So do you have any questions up to this point? Even if you posted something on the
Yeah.
chat, you can just unmute yourself and you can just ask it verbally. Yeah, please go on.
Hey, so I looped it already for 2 days before, and on the second of the last day, it started tasting weird for some reason. Is that because I was detoxing? Is that why I was tasting strange?
No, because what happens is in the urine there are no toxins, but the reason that it gets bitter when you're fasting on it is due to its potency. So it's the same with aged Orin. When you age it, it becomes more bitter, more spicy. The taste changes a little bit. And when you're fasting on it, your body wants to give you the best medicine for you. Just like the bitter herbs are very beneficial for us, like dandelions and all that dark green leaves, your Orin also becomes more potent and more beneficial for you. So it's definitely not because you're releasing some toxins into your water during a fast. It's just maybe you're not drinking. I'm not that you're not drinking. It's just when you're fasting, the water you eliminate gets lower and lower, and it becomes more concentrated, and that's where the taste change comes from.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I've done it before. I've snorted it too before, and the first time I did it, when I snorted it, I felt a sense of euphoric or a sense of relief. It was really weird. It was strange because someone was saying, because I follow Fab, and I was looking at his stuff, and he was just like, "Well, why are you scared to drink it for? Just do it." Because I've done drugs and nasty stuff back when I was younger. So I said, "Well, if I can do that, I can do this. It comes from us." So I peed in a bottle. I drank half of it, and then the other half I snorted through my nose.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, I don't know, it was crazy thing to think about it when I did it. And then I told my friends, and they all thought I was crazy, and I was just laughing at them. I was just like, "Well, come on now. Like, you guys do nasty stuff. Like, drink your pee. It's good for you." I've been trying to do it, and, they all still think it's nasty. But so I'll wait for another day to tell them that, or, when they're ready. Or so, and I tried it on my skin too, which was crazy. I did it when I was looping it. I kept putting it on my skin.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went over to my friend's house and asked him a question. I said, "Do I smell weird?" And he said, "Why would you smell weird?" And I said, "Well, I've been putting my Orin on myself for the past 2 days to see if anyone would notice, and no one has said anything to me about it." So it's crazy how it's odorless and you can't smell anything at all if you put it on yourself. Also,
Exactly.
I wanted to ask, I was reading somewhere where it said that you shouldn't drink, what was it? The first stream or something. You should only take it midstream, which it's kind of weird because I read somewhere from the book of water or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He says just do it, whatever, it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
So
That's how I
okay.
started first too. I was just drinking the midstream and not drinking the first stream, what comes out first. But the thing is, like, there's no point in it. I mean, I know people were thinking that, there might be some bacteria in the genital area and you don't want to drink it, but the Orin itself is antibacterial. So, I mean, it doesn't make sense to me. And I started drinking the whole thing, and it does wonders every time. And also, coming to your other points, it's amazing that you snorted it, because that's just that's another way we ingest it. I personally use a neti pod. I fill this in and close one nostril, take it in, and then close the other nostril, take it in, and it cleanses the nasal area, including your pineal gland, on such a high level where like your dreams become super lucid, vivid. At the time I was doing this every day, I felt like I had two lives, one in the nighttime where, you know, I had all these like vivid dreams, and another one during the daytime. It just, you know, it really cleanses your pineal gland on such a deep level. And also applying onto skin, yes, because our skin is of course organic, it absorbs it, alchemizes it, and utilizes it, so it never smells. It only smells when the Orin drops onto an inorganic surface. So if it spills on the floor, or, you know, then it starts getting smelly. Because it's not utilized, but our body recognizes it. It's your plasma, and it uses it, alchemizes it, so it never ever smells when it touches the skin.
Okay, very, very interesting. Now we have in the chat, we have question from Sarah. I would like to do Orin foot baths. Can you share anything about this, or how long is ideal? I have been practicing Orin therapy since March, Shiva birthday actually. Also would love to hear science for when people say it is waste. Okay, so you pretty much addressed it, but if you have anything else to address, yeah. So that's what she's asking.
So one beautiful side of Orin therapy is there's really no dogma, no policy, you know. The more you drink it, the more you apply it on your skin, the more you do foot soaks, it's the better. When it comes to medications and herbal supplements, there's always a dosage, right? Only drink 3 supplements a day, and if you do more, it might have some side effects, or certain things like this. Or when it comes to medications, because it has a lot of side effects. But when it comes to Orin therapy, you can really do foot soaks as long as you like. I mean, you can do it 3 times a day, 4 times a day. Each time you can do it for 30 minutes, 1 hour. The more you do, the more you absorb it in your body, the better. All you have to do during Orin therapy is to watch your detox symptoms. Like when I would drink aged Orin the first time, I would get a headache because I knew I was like detoxing. But then as time passed by, it started digressing. So all you got to do is to watch your detox symptoms. Like no need to push yourself from drinking 1 cup a day. Like if you go drinking bottles and bottles of age, then you will get like symptoms, and because the body will flush out so many toxins at once into the bloodstream, where you'll feel some headaches or diarrhea or fever. But if you go slow and steady, you know, listening to your body, listening to what it says to you, then you'll be in good hands. And with foot soaks, I mean, it's so light, you won't get major detox symptoms from it. I don't think so. So you can do it as long as you want, as many times you want, and the more you do, the better. So the second thing about it being waste, yeah, I don't know any scientific paper where it says, you know, it's waste. I also talked about this to Dr. Morse many times. I told him I was on his glandulars and tinctures for 9 months, did long juice fasts, and I didn't see any results with my menstrual cycle, but I had just 1 cup a day of my Orin for a month, and I have been having menstrual cycles so regularly since then, every 28th synced with the moon. So I told this to him, but he said, you know, oh, I hope you're not filtering, because then you're drinking your acids. And it's not true. It's really not acidic. I mean, it's so alkalizing. Aged Orin especially, it's so alkaline. It's not an acidic waste. Kidneys are not excretory organs. I love Dr. Morse. I mean, I love him with all my heart. He's the one who showed me the way to fruitarianism and to the value of fruits for our diets. He opened so many pathways for me. But you know, every guru I think has like a little blind spot, and maybe this is one of his. I don't think he's bad intentioned in any way. It's just, you know, his experience took him to that point. But I think we are here now to, you know, expand those borders and really realize what this is, what Orin is.
Okay, cool, cool. And then Raju asks in the chat, do you drink the sediment in urine?
So in my fresh Orin, which I'll show you here, I never get sediments. It's always clear. I only see it in my aged, where, like I told before, the white cells encapsulating other cells. And so I filter them. I don't drink them. But I drank them many times in the past, and I didn't have any problems with it. I only got benefits from it. I fasted on aged Orin for 36 hours, 48 hours in the past, and I would always feel very energized, very clear in the head, feeling so connected to everything around me. You know, I never, but so we have my dear friend Monica Schutt, who's been practicing this for 25 years now. She experimented with the sediments. So what she did was separating these sediments in the aged Orin into a separate bottle. And she said that it was very smelly towards the end. So that's why she suggested us to filter it. So that's what I do when I use aged. But I use aged mostly for enemas. And when I do that, I never filter it. I just use it all, the sediments and everything I do. I use Colema boards, which comes with a bucket of 5 liters. And I collect my Orin for like 1 week or 2 weeks, 5 gallons. This is about, I'm not sure, I think 1 gallon is 4 liters.
Yeah.
So 5 gallons is like 20 liters. So I pour them all into the bucket and give myself an enema. And I just lay there for 45 minutes to 50 minutes, take in, release, about like 50 times. And it's really like giving yourself an internal shower. It helps to clean the colon. When the colon is already empty, if you're juicing, it even reaches out to the liver and helps cleanse the liver. So it's a really powerful method to use.
Wow. Unbelievable. Okay, and then Lone is asking, is old urine better than fresh urine?
Well, yes. I mean, yes, and it's the same. So what fresh Orin does is, let's say you got stung by a fly, or you ate something that you're allergic to. If you drink it right away, it's the perfect instant biofeedback to you. Also, let's say you had something very oily and salty, then your Orin is gonna taste really like weird. And it's the perfect biofeedback for you. When you drink it, it's like, okay, this food was not the best for my higher self. I don't want to eat that food again. And then it kind of like teaches you how to eat better over time. So that's what fresh is really good for, and for looping also, because you're constantly circulating that energy like the earth does. You know, the rain drops and the earth drinks it, evaporates, condenses, and then falls down again. It's constantly circulating its energy. So when we do the same in our body, looping the fresh, we really get like really high energy, and it really helps us, gives us perfect biofeedback. And with the aged, what happens is, because of the stem cell production and just because Orin is such a living matter, its negatively charged becomes more and more higher. So fresh is, if it's usually around like minus 50, the aged becomes around minus 100, where its pulling effect becomes stronger because it's highly highly negatively charged.
Okay.
And that's why we can say that it's stronger. And also because so in the fresh one there are stem cells, but in the aged one the stem cells multiply in number, and that's why aged is also we can say more potent.
Okay, very interesting. Now tell me, Tucca, do you drink all of your urine throughout the day on a regular basis?
So it really depends. What I usually do during the day, I will drink a lot of juices, and then I also loop my Orin. So definitely I drink the first one in the morning because that's the most potent one, since it traveled all your body throughout the night when you're sleeping for either 5 hours or 8 hours. So that's the most potent one. It has all the hormones in it, the serotonin, melatonin that you produce throughout the night. And when you drink it in the morning, it's like happiness pill. You know, it makes you so happy, so energized, so lively. It makes you release, you know, cleanses the colon. It's beautiful. And then throughout the day, I drink as much as possible. I do a lot of looping. So I pee it out and I drink it. I pee it out and drink it. And that by itself helps so much, even like without needing to fast on it. And I think you earlier had a question about, you know, what if the benefits of Orin fasting is just coming from fasting itself, right? Because we already know that dry fasting is very beneficial, and maybe Orin fasting is just beneficial because we stop eating and consuming anything and just drink water, and maybe that's why it's coming where we're getting the benefits. But it's actually working also when we are eating. So if I go back to my story, the first month, I was eating raw vegan diet, you know, juicing, I was on my regular routine. And by just drinking 1 cup a day, I healed my PCOS and irregular cycles. So that's where you can understand that the benefits are not coming only because you're fasting. It's because of all the potency in this water.
Wonderful, wonderful. Then Aid is asking, is there a recommended book? And then someone else wrote Water of Life, J.W. Armstrong. So, yeah. and then Maria Christie has written a book too, he says. So, but do you have anything to add to that? Recommended books on urine therapy?
Well, actually, I have a collection of PDFs on my G Drive. If anyone is interested, they can DM me from Instagram, and I can send you the link. There are multiple books. Martha Christie's Your Own Perfect Medicine is amazing. Water of Life is amazing. Now I can't think from the top of my head, but there's so many books. I think I have about like 15 books written on urine therapy, and they're all wonderful. They all touch a different, they look at it from a different perspective and give different testimonials. It's really good to read them. You get more motivated and you feel like, okay, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna try it.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, and then Miguel is asking here in the chat, because of the stem cells, would applying urine to a face burn, to a face burn I have since childhood help it heal? So he's asking about face burn.
Yes, absolutely. This has been proven over and over. If you experience any type of burns, you can put your Orine on it because it's antibacterial. It's gonna sterilize the area, and due to the stem cells, the skin is gonna regenerate much more faster. People like recover from burns in a couple of days and they regenerate skin. It's so good for you. And I'm sure you also heard about like jellyfish stings, when you get stung by a jellyfish, you pee on it and the burn goes away immediately. I experienced this myself 2 years ago, where I got stung by a jellyfish, and there they brought me all types of gels, creams, and nothing would take away the burn, and it was so painful. And then I thought to myself, why don't I just like pee in a bottle and pour it on it? And I did it. It was gone in like 5 minutes. It's amazing for the skin. It does wonders.
Okay, great, great. Okay, guys, we'll get back to the questions in the chat, but maybe let's mix it with questions that you ask, like verbal questions. So you can just unmute yourself and ask if you have any questions.
Could I add something about the skin here?
Sure.
Actually, I have been practicing urine therapy for several years. And so I have some experience with it, and also for my children. But I wanted to share that, amniotic fluid when the baby is in the womb is mostly urine, which is why when a baby is born, you see how soft the skin is. A baby's skin is so soft because it's really been in urine water for 9 months. I've also used urine on burns for a baby, a 3-month-old baby, and just the application of the urine on the burn healed the scar and left no marks. So it was just amazing how beautifully it was able to heal.
Beautiful. Thank
Wow.
you. Yeah, absolutely.
So inspiring. Okay, guys, do you have any more questions? You can unmute yourself and you can just ask.
You're talking about how I can reverse what do you call it? Allergic reactions. Well, I'm allergic to cats, so if I got scratched by a cat, would I drink it and put it under my tongue so my lymph nodes would study it and then be able to make it so I can actually pet dogs and cats and not have my eyes puff up and my asthma go crazy and feel like I'm gonna die?
No.
Oh, okay. And I heard it can also it would heal my asthma, wouldn't it also too, if when I practice the Orin therapy?
Yes, absolutely. It's amazing for asthma. You can also do a lot of inhales, those inhale masks. You can use those. You can put your Orin in the cup and let it diffuse it, and you can inhale it. And you can also drink it during the day and do fasts on it. Also apply it on your skin. You can do it all together, and it will help with your it will cure your asthma in time. Yes, it's just a matter of time. The more you apply, the better, the quicker it affects you.
And doesn't it what is it, help regrow hair and thicken the hair as well, I've heard?
Yes, I've heard many testimonials where people experimented with aged Orin, and they see hair growth even at the bald spots that they had for a long time.
Yeah, because I tried it with my beard and it was helping out filling the patches.
Mm-hmm.
So I it was cool to see that happen.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, because of the stem cells in it, it really has the capability to regenerate any cells. It becomes it, because the stem cells are the origin of the cells. They're like the seed. They can turn into anything. They can become an apple. They can become a watermelon. They're like the seeds of cells. So if you apply it on your skin, it's going to become the hair cell or the skin cell.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And also about the amniotic fluid. So it's so amazing how it works, because the baby, the fetus, utilizes the mom's Orin for the first 4 months. And then as soon as the fetus develops, the baby develops the kidneys and is able to urinate out itself, then it starts drinking its own Orin in the mother's womb. So the amniotic fluid, the Orin really facilitates all the organs to develop because it's full of stem cells. It helps the baby's growth. And yeah, the baby sleeps in it, not sleeps, but grows in it for 8 months and 9 months. And that's why the skin of the babies are always so soft and plump, young and hydrated.
Amazing. Amazing.
I had a question.
Mm-hmm.
It's the first time that I'm actually hearing this information about drinking aged urine, because from what I have studied, it's always been about drinking fresh urine.
Mm-hmm.
So could you just tell me how long the urine is aged for before you drink it? And can you age it for how long?
Mm-hmm. So you can age it as long as you want, but aged is usually considered when it stays in a bottle for over 3 days. So after 3 or like 4 days, then it's considered as aged or evolved or matured, some say. I personally have aged Orin that is aged for up to a year. I had for the ones that I had for 2 years, I used them. But yeah, you can age it as long as you want. It's like wine, you know, the more you age it, the better it becomes. I know some have like 10-year-old aged Orin, and it's so potent. They keep it in their fridge. Not that you have to keep it in your fridge. I keep it in my kitchen closet. Kitchen cabinet, sorry. But yeah, the more ages, the more potent it is, and it's perfect to keep some at home for emergencies, you know, for cuts and burns, and also for drinking if you're like going through something. It's really good to keep some in hand.
Thank you. I do have aged urine for applications, but I have never had aged urine to drink. So I'm just wondering about that.
Yes, definitely. You can consume it through the mouth too. I mean, I use it mostly for enemas, but when I'm like doing Orin fasts, I drink 1 cup of aged every day for those 4 or 5 days that I'm fasting.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
I do want to share that I had done a 5-day urine fast, and it was absolutely magical in terms of how it was able to detox. Because what was expelled through the stools would never have been able to come out normally, even through a really rigorous detox. Because it was literally black, hard shards that I'm sure were lying in the colon for years. And it was able to really peel that out of the colon and expel it. And that happened only because of the 5-day urine fast.
Absolutely. Oh my God,
Wow.
so happy for you. I mean, you can shed so much, and people usually see parasites coming out too during these Orin fasts, because Orin is anti-parasitic. You release so much. Yeah, I mean, so much dead matter and also parasites that are attached to these dead matters. It's like such a great cleanse.
Wonderful.
So, Arik, you were saying something.
No, I'm saying one that sounds very, very good, amazing. Okay, guys, do you have any more questions so far? Okay, let's get back to the chat. What do you think about the urine enema? So you pretty much answered it, but do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, enemas are, I think, great tools, especially if you're Orin fasting. It's a great tool to make the fasting experience much easier and much comfortable. I would highly suggest, if you have those the small buckets, I would suggest you to do multiple enemas during the day. If you have the large buckets like the one I have, the Colima boards, which has 5 gallons of liquid, then once a day or even like once a week is very good, because it really flushes the whole body and the whole colon. I mean, when I do the enemas the first time, I would feel my ears popping. Like it would release the mucus from every part. My whole body would get electrified, and I mean, you feel the ions coming, you know. We
Wow.
don't only need these ions from the air, negative ions, and we need them from the air through the breath work, and also from the earthing, grounding from the earth, but we need them also in our waters, and that's what Orin provides.
Tuccia, and as for today, how often do you do your enemas, your urine enemas?
So today is Friday, right? I just did one on Sunday. It really depends on what I'm consuming. If I'm consuming, like I did one on Sunday because I came from Turkey visiting my family, and I had some like on the heavier side of vegan foods there, and I felt like I needed a cleanse, so that's what I did. But if I'm on juices and raw, I mean, like fruits mostly, then I don't feel like I need it much because my colon works really efficiently. It really depends like on what you consume. If you're consuming any type of oils, fats, nuts, seeds, um, I mean, also like dairy and flesh, of course,
Yeah.
gluten or, you know, corn or soy products. These are very toxic to the body. So if you are consuming those kind of food groups, then I would suggest you to do enemas as much as you can. And yeah, but if you're on juices and consuming living foods and not cooked foods, or so then you don't need as much.
Okay, good, good. And then Rohit is saying, I did 2-3 day urine fast. Awesome energy with enemas twice a day with body massage. So it's not a question, it's just sharing. Thank you very much, Rohit, for sharing. Elaine is asking, what is your diet now?
So my diet now is 95% fruit juices. And sometimes I have like tender leafy greens, like herbs, mostly cilantro, parsley, and butter lettuce, really easy to digest greens. I used to love like kale and collard greens, but it's like so hard for me to digest them. So I'm leaning towards the soft leafy greens, lots of fruit juices. I almost every day I drink a large bottle of watermelon juice, pineapple juice. I love celery juice. So I make sure to drink these, and then I have like one meal a day.
Okay, good, good. Gary Ivanova is saying, hi all.
Sorry, could I just clarify, is that one meal a cooked meal or a raw meal?
No, raw. I've been raw vegan for 7 years now.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
Good. So Gary Ivanova is saying, hi all, I have been practicing Orine therapy for 7 years from 2002 up to 2010. And in this period, I never got sick, not even a cold. Very good. And then Ion or Lone, I don't know, because I don't know if it's L or I. After urine therapy, there is pain in the soles, such as gout. It's like inserting the urine back. What do you think about this?
I'm not sure if I got it after urine therapy.
I haven't got it. So if you ask this question, just come because maybe there are some spelling mistakes here. I don't know, or there are some words that we just not unfamiliar. So let's just skip it. And please, if you want to ask this question, just unmute yourself and do that. Now, Care Ivanova is asking a very good question. Can it be practiced during pregnancy?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's good for you at all times. You can definitely do it when you're pregnant. Your baby would love it too, because that's what the baby is sleeping in anyway. That's what it's helping to grow. And if you also, you know, give it to yourself systematically, that's perfect.
Yeah, wonderful. And then Jessica is okay. I guess it's a question, but she's just saying children on Orin. So, so what can you tell us about children doing this therapy?
I love this question because I think it's so important to be able to teach children when they're at a young age that this is their medicine, it's not a waste, and they can utilize it in any way they can. So, the baby cannot collect its own urine when at a younger age, when it's a baby. So that's why the mother gives the breast milk, which is same as urine. It's the plasma of the blood. And that's why the mother is able to breastfeed until the age that the baby grows and can like collect its water and drink it on its own. But yeah, it's really great to be able to teach children this therapy, and they can drink it as much as they want. It's just as beneficial for them as much as for adults.
Very good, very good. And then
Can I share my experience with babies?
yeah, sure.
So when I had my second daughter, my child, and I think she was given the oral polio vaccine, the first 0 dose, without my knowledge or consent. And when she was maybe 2 or 3 months old, she developed a congestion in her chest. And of course, the doctors were scaring me and saying it's going to become pneumonia. But what I would do is, instead of going the allopathic route, I would, after every breastfeed, because she would pee, I would collect the pee and then make her drink it. And she was just 2 months or 2.5 months old. And there was so much pressure about, oh, you're experimenting on her and how can you take a chance with her life? But I was so blessed that I could stick to this practice. And on the 5th day of continuously, every time she peed, I would collect the urine and put it back into her mouth. And on the 5th day, she expelled so much mucus, just coughing it out. And then there was no sign of that congestion after that.
Oh my God. You should be so proud of yourself for being such a conscious mom. It's amazing that you did that to your baby and you saved her or him. I mean, it's just that's what I've been always like thinking, like, can I just keep the baby in a maybe like a plastic bucket or something and collect the urine and give it back to the baby? That's just such a smart idea. And yeah, I think if the baby gets sick or anything, that's the first method that I would use to help the baby, because I mean, all the antibodies are in there, the stem cells, and it's so hydrating. It releases all the mucus and expels all the disease. And also because it's very highly negatively charged, it pulls out all the heavy metals too. Because what comes with the vaccines is that, I mean, they're all filled with such like high levels of heavy metals, whether it's mercury, aluminum, and it's really toxic to the body. The body has a certain electrical charge, and when the heavy metals come in, that electrical charge just gets messed up and it creates plaque. But the urine, being it's so negatively charged, has the capability to break up that mucus and pull out all those positively charged heavy metals. So it's a great cleanser. Oh my God, I'm so glad you shared this experience you had. It's amazing. We need all the mothers to know about this,
Yes, that's true. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mile, and actually, you asked here a question in the chat: how old is aged urine? For how long do you age it? So, has it been answered, or you still have this question?
No, it's been answered. Thank you so much.
Okay, excellent. Now, Aid is asking what websites, books, Facebook, or YouTube teachers does Tucca recommend? So we mentioned a few books already, but they also ask about YouTube channels, about Facebook, etc.
Sure. I also want to talk about Brother Sage. This is his book, Manual for Urine Therapy Teachers and Therapists. But I mean, as a practitioner, you can have a read too. It's he practices it for 40 years, and he's one
Wow.
of my mentors. And he also has a website named Shivambu Hut. If you guys, or I can try to find how it's spelled out. Shivambu Hut. Yeah, it's just as Shivambu Hut. I can type it in the comments here. You can, if you just Google as Shivambu Hut, I think it will come up. You can log in there, become a member, and there's always conversations going on about Orin therapy. And he's such a great guy. He's been doing it for 40 years, so he's always there to help out with any issues. Yeah, so he's one of the many
Okay.
that I always get my guidance.
Cool, cool. And then we have another question from Kanwal Beer. Can you bottle it and refrigerate it for a few days, or should you drink it fresh at room temperature? That's the question.
You can do both. Like I said, you can never go wrong with Orin. You can fridge it, you can put it in the sun and charge it. You can keep it in the room temperature. It will never go bad. Never ever will go bad. The stem cells in it are like protection of the Orin. If there's any airborne toxin going into the Orin, it will become a white cell and encapsulate it, and will become harmless. So you can do anything really. Some say that when you fridge it, it becomes aged faster. Some say that when you put it out in the sun with the energy of the sun, and because it gets solarized, it becomes aged faster. I just keep it in my cabinet. But how I keep it is, so if let's say this is the bottle, I put a piece of cloth on the opening of the bottle and a rubber band around it. So I let it breathe, because with the help of the oxygen in the air, it ages better. Though I have a lot of friends who keep it closed too. I mean, there's really like the teacher here for Orin therapy is your Orin itself. Don't even take me as a teacher. Orin therapy teaches you on its own. There's no, and don't even believe the books. Don't even believe the books that say, oh, you should only drink the midstream, not the. I mean, there's no dogma when it comes to Orin therapy. You can drink it in any way you like, in any temperature you like. If it's summer day and it's so hot and you want something refreshing, put it in the fridge and drink it that way. It's gonna do only good to you. It can never harm you. It can never go bad. It's like honey, or it doesn't go bad. It's always there for you. I hope
Great.
your question.
Great. And then we have another question. Do you recommend drinking distilled water or spring water?
I definitely recommend drinking distilled instead of spring water, because in the spring water, there is inorganic minerals. As the stream or the waterfall comes from the mountains, it collects all the sand and the dirt, and then it becomes the spring water. However, this dirt and sand is inorganic minerals. The body cannot utilize it. It's not bioavailable. If it were bioavailable, we would be just eating soil from the ground, right? But we don't do that. We utilize fruits and vegetables which have the organic minerals. So the minerals inside the spring water are inorganic, and the body cannot utilize it. And these inorganic minerals accumulate in the glands and the organs and the joints, and then create problems. And the body has to work overtime to eliminate these inorganic minerals. However, when you look at distilled water, it's equal to rainwater. It's purified. It has no minerals in it. And some people say, oh, but it leaches minerals out of your body. Yes, it's true, but it only leaches the inorganic minerals that are already not good for you. Those are the minerals that it leaches out. So I highly suggest drinking distilled water, which is the most purified water that that's out there when it comes to like buying it from a market. Otherwise, your own water is the best one to drink.
Wonderful. Okay, and then someone else is asking, I've heard that urine can have microplastics in it. Any dangers for that?
Urine can have microplastics in it. I've never heard that before. I mean, the thing is, if it's already in your urine, it was already in your blood. And if you have too much plastics traveling in your blood, very minor amount is also going to be in your urine. But what happens is when we re-ingest the Orin, the body like diagnoses these toxins and works harder for it. So if there is plastic, even if like there's, I don't think there is, but even if there is, it will work like a homeopathic. It will work homeopathically for you, just like the minor amounts of toxins in the Orin, which is like very, very minor. It's like homeopathic level, maybe like 0.001. When we drink this, the lymph nodes under our tongue recognizes it, and it activates the immune system, and you produce more antibodies, because the body is like, oh, okay, this toxin is coming to the body, let's work harder, let's produce this antibody. So it always works homeopathically. Even if there is, I don't see any harm that it could do, because it was already in your blood in the first place.
Very good, very good. And then another guy is asking, can you mix it with water or tea, coffee?
Yeah, absolutely. I make juices with it. I make smoothies with it. I make my salad dressings with it. It's the best water to use, really. If you're using any kind of water to make tea or coffee, I mean, I don't suggest drinking coffee in any way due to the neurotoxins it has. But if you are doing it and if you need to use water, you can always use your own water. It will even like eliminate the neurotoxins in the coffee, and I mean, it will make it a better drink because I mean, coffee is like so neurotoxins, and herbal teas are great, but there are some also caffeinated teas like black tea and Earl Grey. I think the caffeine in them is very toxic to the body, to the liver, and especially to the adrenal glands, which sit on top of your kidneys. You know, it ages the body, and it's just a stimulant. Instead, you can have, if you want to energize yourself, you can have your morning Orin first thing, and then you can make a juice. You can start with green juices and also incorporate fruit juices. Yeah, I would highly suggest energizing yourself in that way. You will elevate your health in such a rapid pace.
Good, good. And then we have few questions from Frederick, who is the leader of the dry fasting group. And he's asking, first of all, what is the list of diseases it can cure? If you can address this question.
I mean, if you look at the books, Water of Life and Your Own Perfect Medicine by Martha Christie, there's literally no disease that wasn't listed. I think only in the Water of Life book, the author suggests that he didn't have any patient with diabetes type 1 that was healed. That was the only one listed. Which seems like, to me, it seems like as if you, I mean, I don't want to say that actually. I think it's definitely a matter of time, how much you apply and how much you utilize it. So I believe that even people with diabetes type 1 can help heal themselves, but that was the only one listed. Other than that, with anything that you can think of, with cancer, with thyroid issues, I mean, with skin issues, even the most severe eczema, and I mean, everything you can think of. There's no disease that you can't reverse, really. Maybe except type 1 diabetes. I've never had an experience with that, but I've had clients with thyroid issues, with insulin resistance, and arthritis and digestive issues. What else? Eczema. They all got better. So, yeah.
Wow. Wonderful. And then another question from the same guy is, do you keep the container open when you age the Orine?
So I keep it open, but like I said, I put a piece of cloth, like it can be a cheesecloth or a piece of fabric. I just put it on top and put a rubber band around it, just so that no dust or bugs or anything go in, because bugs also love Orine. They love to drink it, but you don't want to share your golden elixir with bugs. So
Yeah.
you want to make sure it's like closed, it still can breathe, but you want to make sure it's closed with a fabric.
Okay. And he's also asking, how long should you do an Orine fast?
So if you check out my Instagram account, my interviews, I had guests who had Orine fast for 17 days, 5 days, 10 days, but up to 17 days. And I think also, I know a person who had a fast for 30 days and was so energized and so hydrated that he was able to go for a dry fast for another 30 days after that. So it's really up to you. I also know someone, I think he was on Orin for 7 months. And I don't know if he had juices once in a while, but that's what I heard. I haven't spoken to that person in person, but that's what I heard. But you can go on it for as long as you can tolerate, as long as you can go. I mean, my maximum has been 5 days, but I would love to do it for longer because it's so healing, so rejuvenating.
Very good, very good. And then Sarah is asking, can a link be shared for this 5-gallon container Kalima board? Not sure what she's saying. But then she says, I found, I think, and plastic is okay. So that's what she's asking.
Yes, I'm glad you found it already. I think they usually had it on Amazon, but I think they don't have it there anymore. I think it's sold at the herbal. I can't remember the name of the website, but if you just Google, I'll type it here, Polema board and bucket, it will come up. And yeah, it's made out of plastic, but that's the best way because then it's easier to clean it up. I mean, it would be great if it were glass, but you can't really do glass because it will break if you lay on it, or even as a bucket, it's not durable. So plastic is the best option in this case. And don't worry about plastic leaching into the Orine and you getting it, because due to the structure of Orine, because it's distilled, it will encapsulate the plastic and won't release it when it's inside your body. It will be flushed out of the body. So no worries about plastic.
Good, good. And then Devendra is asking a question that I also actually wanted to ask. It is said that Orine therapy is not recommended for people who is under any medication. So what do you have to say about it?
So what happens is the medication also comes out in the Orine a little bit. So when you're drinking it, you're doing kind of like overdose. So you have to re-regulate your dosage when you're under medication, because you don't want to drink it too much and loop it and drink it more than you should. And also because Orin is very healing, you don't need it as much in time. So you have to redo the
Readjust. Yeah.
readjust, exactly, readjust the dosage, because let's say you're taking blood thinners, right? Orin itself is a blood thinner. So if you're taking the medication and drinking the Orin, then your blood is going to be too thin. So you have to readjust the dosage, and in time you're not going to need it anymore. So you have to be really careful. You have to listen to your body and see how it works, because I mean, with insulin resistance, if you're on Orin for 1 week, you don't need the pills anymore. It's such a fast, it's the effects come in really fast. So you gotta be in tune with your body, listen to your body, and see how your symptoms are changing. In that case, I would really suggest you to work with a coach such as myself or Brother Sage, and and keep it in track.
Amazing. Okay, and then we have another person saying, I can say that what Tucca said about urine is correct, and it is antioxidant. I checked this by distilling urine with ORP meter. I don't know what. Do you know what does it mean, ORP meter? Because I'm not familiar with that.
So ORP meter is the tool that I also use to measure the negative charge of the water. What it does is like, oh, I'm sorry, is ORP meter? Yeah, I think it also charges the, measures the amount of, oh no, that's per million, that's different. So yeah, ORP meter measures the charge of the water, and Orin always comes out negative. What was the question? Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's not a question, it's sharing. So this guy is saying, I checked this by distilling urine with ORP meter, and it came out very powerful antioxidant.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, the fact that it's negatively charged, it makes it a very good antioxidant, because it encapsulates all the toxins in the body, all the free radicals, and that's why it's a great antioxidant.
Yeah. And then Marco is saying, you're a great Orin therapy teacher, Tucca. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Marco is also a great practitioner of Orin therapy. Like, I think it was last month, no, in August. Yeah, last month. He did a 6-day or even a 7-day Orin fast. He's very experienced. You should follow him on Instagram. His name is Fruit and Light. I'll type it here.
Okay, excellent. And then Care Ivanova is asking, do you pour Orin through your nose and eyes to clean them? So you have already mentioned nose and this neti pot, and but do you use it for the eyes as well?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for this great question, because I think it's so important to get it from any of your openings, through your ears. You can use droppers, you can use goggles. You can fill your goggle with the Orin, and you can put it on, make sure it doesn't leak, and lay down for like 10 minutes, half an hour. It's so beneficial. I mean, people's eyesight get better and better when they do this, and then eventually they have to drop their eyeglasses. If you want to go stronger, you can drop a couple of drops of, you can put a couple of drops of aged Orin and mix it with the fresh, and then put it in goggles and lay down. You can put it through your ears. You can do, you can put it on your skin. You can put it on your belly button and let it soak there. You can do foot soaks. We mentioned that. What else? You can do tongue brushing with it. You can swish it in your mouth for any teeth issues. Due to the stem cells in it, it will help regrowth of the tooth there, and you can help heal cavities or any type of inflammation. And also for any type of inflammation, skin inflammation, you can always use aged. You can swish that in your mouth for like 10 minutes, couple of times a day. It really helps with teeth issues.
Very good, very good. And then we have another question from Jazz. Jazz, but please come online and mute yourself and ask it, because I haven't really got the essence of your question here. So I'm just skipping it, but please unmute yourself and ask it personally. And okay, so then another one. With thrombosis, or when the blood is sick, is it okay to use Orine therapy?
Yes, definitely. Because the, antibody for your disease is always in your blood. So when it gets filtered through the livers and then through millions of nephrons, it's your medicine. You can use it for any type of disease. There's not even like one case where I can say, oh, you can't use it. I had clients who were on synthetic drugs for entertainment purposes, like acid, LSD and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Even they were, I just had one client like that. Even he was telling me about how he uses it. He uses his Orin and it was helping him. I mean, he at that point when he's using that drug, his blood is pretty much toxic, but your Orine is always cleaner than your blood. So, and the medicine always is in it. So you can always use it. There's not even one case where I would say don't use it.
Good.
Also,
good.
I want to mention, even people who get chemotherapy utilize their Orine. And we know that chemotherapy is very toxic to the body. It has like mustard gas that was utilized in World War II. And so it's so toxic, yet their Orine was still helping them to recover from the side effects of chemo. So this doesn't mean by any means like go for chemo. I don't suggest it. I think with Orine therapy, you can definitely get rid of any type of cancer. And but this is just to say, even people who have, toxic medications or going through toxic methods of treatments, even they can use it.
Yeah, sure. And then there is another question. Actually, it's the same question as we got on WhatsApp, which I sent to you. What do you think? What is your view on COVID and on the vaccine? So, yeah. So whatever you have to say about that.
So yeah. So there are a couple of thoughts on COVID. Some say, yes, it's a virus. Some say that it's the cells are poisoned and virus is just an exosome that the cell discretes. It's just proteins. Either case, I think in either case, because when you're doing Orine therapy and you're hydrating your cells so much and there's no such an environment that the body that this virus or this poison can live, it's really your type of vaccine. I didn't get vaccinated and I don't suggest it to anyone. As long as you are on a clean diet, on a mucus-free diet, where you're not consuming any type of gluten, soy, dairy products, corn products, flesh, and any type of animal secretions. As long as you are on the, living foods diet and you're utilizing your Orine, I think you're in good hands. You don't need any type of vaccine. Even if you're not, you don't need it, because I think the vaccines are highly toxic. They have such high levels of biotoxins in it and heavy metals. So yeah, that's my point on the vaccine. But it's really important to take care of your diet. Orin therapy goes hand in hand with what you consume. If you're eating like eggs and eating cheese, which are highly mucus forming, and then doing Orin therapy, of course it's gonna help you, but it's like, giving and taking. If you want to get the full force and reverse a disease and stay safe during this pandemic, and you really, it's better to watch out what you're consuming. It's really important to become a conscious eater. Always go for the living foods. I would say they are so high in angstrom energy, living force. When you look at the fruits and vegetables, they have 8 to 9,000 angstrom energy. When you look at the vegetables, they have 6 to 7,000 angstrom energy. And when you cook these foods, their angstrom energy goes 2,000 below. So the fruits become 6 to 7, the vegetables become 6 to 5, and oh no, I'm sorry, 6 to 7, and then fruits become 7, 8. So it's really important to consume the foods that are created in the way they are, like in the way that nature intended them to be. When we cook our foods, grill, fry, and boil and steam, we alter the chemistry of the food, and the structured water inside the vegetable or the fruit evaporates. And that's why it becomes dehydrating for us. It steals from our own structured food water.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it's really, really important to stay on like living foods as much as you can, and to be hydrated. Even if you are not on a living food diet, you can like swap one meal a day to living foods. If you're having breakfast with, I don't know, cornflakes bread, or I don't know, like something dehydrating, oatmeal even, you can swap it to a meal of fruit. You can have bananas, strawberries, you can make a smoothie, you can add your own water in it, make a smoothie, or you can make a juice. You can always start there, and by swapping one meal into a raw vegan meal, and it will make such a big difference. Or like me, you can change overnight and become a raw vegan or a fruitarian overnight. The choice is always yours.
Good, good. Thank you very much. Now, Revital is asking, so basically your urine or Orine is not a waste product, but medicine. And this is another misconception, like fruit is bad for you.
Exactly. We've been always told, oh, if you touch it, wash your hands, and oh, like it's waste. And but I mean, the reason why people, I think like that is also because at times it comes out smelly and cloudy, but that's only because what we are consuming. If you change the things that you're consuming into living foods, your water becomes like this, super clean and clear, and it tastes like coconut water almost. Mine has this like vanilla taste to it. I mean, to me, it tastes so good that when I drink it, I want to drink more and more and more and more, and I chug the whole bottle. But yeah, it's definitely a misconception that we were programmed to think that it's a waste, and it's not. The breast milk of the mother is for the baby until it grows up, and then you have your own meal and medicine with you at all times during all lifetime. I mean, it's your medicine on tap, whether you like it or not. Your body is always producing it. Only full breatharians don't pee out, and what happens in their body is the urine that is stored in the bladder gets reabsorbed into the body. And what's so beautiful about it is that, how breatharians can live up to like hundreds and hundreds of years. I know a breatharian in Peru. who is 250 years old, and he's full breatharian, but he also came to this point by practicing Orin therapy. And what's so beautiful about it is that because your Orin is reabsorbed in the body and it's recirculates all the time, it's like you are on your, it's like you're living on aged Orin for all your life. Because what happens is your blood and your Orin constantly circulates and gets aged and gets infused with your life force energy. And it's like you're constantly drinking, if you're breatharian for 20 years, it's like you're constantly drinking 20-year-old aged Orin. And that's why they become so close to being like immortal. They still look so young, even if they are 200 years old. I know the breatharian in Peru, he looks like 60 years old, even though he's like 250.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, Vital, do you have any more questions? Because you posted some, but I see that you are here, so you can just ask.
Yeah, okay, so I can ask them. So yes, it's amazing. Like everything, we keep discovering that things that we were raised up on and conditioned. It's totally the other way around. Like it's amazing, all this stuff. And I also posted on the WhatsApp, well, that it's, yeah, that it is considered a waste product. So why do you, so why does the body, well, you're saying we need a medicine because we eat bad foods and we have a lot of toxins. So the body produces medication for us, and breatharians that don't consume any toxins, they actually don't need any medication or something.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can definitely put it in that way, because they're all, I mean, breatharianism, I think, is a outcome of being healthy, because you're back into that homeostasis phase where you're already hydrated and you don't need any kind of external sources such as juices or water or your Orin. You're already at that perfect phase where your body doesn't need to expel any medicine for you, really. I mean, that's a perfect way of putting it, actually. And yes, I mean, this has been really hidden from us, I think. But at the same time, when you look at the ancient books or religious books, every book talks about it. It's not even like this new hip therapy that came out like 10 years ago or anything. It's been done for ages and ages, for thousands of years. There are Indian scriptures that are thousands of years old that talk about this. It was very popular in China, in India, still very popular. We know that 30 million people at least practice it, but I bet, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's much more than that, because it's such a dogma that people hide it and they don't talk about it. Like when I started talking about this last year, so many people came out of their closet and said, you know, I've been practicing this for years, but I've been even hiding it from my wife. And I'm so glad you're speaking about it now that I can, you know, come out and speak about it too, and things like that. So there's so many people practicing, especially in China and in Japan, India. Germany is very big on it. Now we're growing like wildfire in US. At the time when I first started, there were only a couple of people talking about this. You know, Monica Schutt, Harry Matadine, Brother Sage, very few YouTubers. Now there's so many people. And I joined to so many Facebook groups and Instagram groups. There's so many people practicing, and the benefits are coming one after the other. I mean, there's no way that it's a waste for you. If you have any doubts in your mind, just try it once, and you will see in yourself. And if you're working on any healing, any kind of illness, you know, illness. Yeah, this is, I think, the fastest way to get results. I mean, that's what has been on my journey. I know dry fasting is very efficient too, but for me, it's been Orin fasting for sure.
Well, you look so great. Is that the fountain of youth? Or to look young and just like babies, the skin and also I read the questions that I have here on the chat. Do animals also drink their urine and are aware of its benefits?
Exactly, they do it intuitively. I mean, if you just Google animals drinking their urine, you will see so many gorillas, monkeys, goats, and even horses. You know, so many animals do it. It's a natural thing. They do it intuitively. So yeah, we just have to look at nature and kind of like replicate it, because if you look at nature, no animal cooks their food. Just because we are so smart, we cook it and alter its chemistry, and then that food alters our chemistry. Because once you cook it, that food is never 70% water. It's 10% water, if lucky. But we are 70% water. So when we eat that food that's dehydrated, grilled, cooked, fried, boiled, steamed, then it steals our water. Whereas the whole purpose of, of life is keeping ourselves as water beings, because we are like 70% to 80% water, but a person with cancer has 60% water. When you look at, elderly people, dehydrated. And when you have a dehydrated, acidic environment within you, it's like an invitation to disease. And also it's aging, it's stealing from your life. So this precious water that we have within us, this structured water, is so precious. And our own Orin is always there to hydrate us more. Even if you have cooked foods, you can drink your water and rehydrate yourself and make sure you're always hydrated. And that's your health insurance, that's your vaccine.
Good.
And, wait, I've got another one that I've written. And now that I think about it, like you say, animals intuitively drink their own urine. Do they also try to eat their feces? Or,
well, I think pigs do that, right? But only them, I think. The others, I don't know, dogs maybe do it. Yeah, I mean, so that's another topic, but there are also people who practice that. I don't want to go into that because I think that's a waste, but I don't even think, like, I don't know. I mean, the bad bacteria in the feces, there are times that can be utilized too. I know in the medicine world, they do that. For instance, if someone is having colon issues, they take the feces from a healthy person and put it inside the colon of the unhealthy person, and the healthy bacteria in the healthy feces helps that unhealthy person to recover from like severe Crohn's disease and like severe colon issues. So we actually do have a lot to learn from animal kingdom and from nature, really. I mean, I always say this, like, we're also a microcosm of the macrocosm. We can just look at the earth. The earth is drinking its water the whole time. It's constantly circulating its own water, drinking the distilled water too, because rainwater is distilled water. It has 0 parts per million. It has no minerals in it. It's pure water. So yeah, we do have a lot to learn from nature, from just analyzing what's going on around us, from animals, from nature, from the earth. We are our own, we are each other's reflections. So
we have to get back to nature, and we are detached from nature with all kinds of medications and vaccines, taking chemicals in instead of doing connecting with nature, connecting with ourselves. People are so detached from themselves. You've got a disease, you've got to take this medication. You've got another disease, you've got to take this vaccine. so detached.
So,
And the last thing I've written is, what does your one meal a day include? And when you urine fast, how can you produce enough urine while you are fasting? Or aged urine that you're using? Or so actually it's two questions. You said 1 meal a day. Okay, what I mean in terms of what is recommended. So you're on fruit juices most of the day, and what would a good
meal?
Meal, good diet? What kind of a meal you would have on a
Great question. Thank you. So yeah, during the day, I usually have fruit juices, and I get all my, energy and glucose and all from that. And then in the evening, I usually crave something savory, something that's like high in minerals and also sodium. So I go for the greens and for the herbs, and also for the fruit veggie group, which are tomatoes and cucumbers. I chop them finely, and then I throw out some herbs in there like cilantro or parsley. As a dressing, I usually put lemon juice, or if I want it more creamy, I blend the meat of the mango, and that makes such a delicious dressing. So I pour that on top of my salad. So I go for that. But there were times, I have to say, like this past year, I had a time for 10 months, I never consumed any greens. And I was doing Orine therapy at such a high level then, I lost my craving for the vegetable kingdom. Yeah, but now I'm kind of back on eating more greens and herbs. So that's usually what my meal is. Or I make a smoothie with some fruits and greens. What else do I do? I use butter lettuce a lot, some green peppers or red, what's it called, bell peppers. What else? Last night I had a little piece of durian, which is a fatty fruit, but once in a while I do it. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Fresh fruits and vegetables. I use zucchini a lot. I make cucumber noodles and zucchini noodles. I make spaghetti kind of with it, with a good tomato dressing and herbs.
What about avocados and peas?
Peas, yes, I like peas. I like eating them raw. Not too often because they're a little hard to digest, but I do eat them sometimes. And with avocados, I do it very, very sparingly because I try to stay away from fats as much as possible. So the blood is water-based. The more fat-based we make the blood, the slower it moves, and its capability to carry oxygen goes down. So I want to keep my blood as thin and as water-based as possible. So I stay away from fats, including avocados, including coconut meat. I don't do them as much, very like once in a blue moon, and also I don't use any nuts and seeds because even though they are like raw vegan, they are very acidic.
Yeah, that's what they tell us. We should consume oils and proteins. And, when I tell people that the best thing is fruit and vegetable, but where do you get your protein from?
Yeah. Okay, Vitala, I'm sorry, we have tons of questions, other questions. So do you have any more questions?
Yeah, I just asked it when you urine fast.
Okay.
How can you produce urine?
So when you're Orine fasting, you actually produce a lot of Orine the first few days. I mean, you just loop it all back. But of course, every time it comes out like less and less and less. And that's why in the later days, you can incorporate more aged Orine. But then if you use just fresh Orine, you eventually come to a point where you stop peeing. And that's when your bladder starts reabsorbing the Orin, and you literally come to a full breatharian place. And that's why when, so many, not so many, but a few friends of mine were able to dry fast for 30 days and for 15 days and so on. So,
Amazing.
yeah.
Okay.
But if you want to keep doing the Orin fast, you can always drink your collected aged Orin, or you can even include distilled water.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Okay. Okay, guys, I just want to say that we're going to finish soon, because even though there are still more questions, because we're almost 2 hours and a half so far, but let's continue a few more questions, and then I want to ask Tucca a few things, a few questions about her services that she provides, and then we can always have her for another webinar, maybe in 2 weeks or something like that. So Tucca, there is a question here. Do you think a person who has been vaxxed with the COVID vaccine can detox all the side effects from drinking Orine? Should it be an Orine fast? We had the same question actually on WhatsApp.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you can start it right away. I don't know if you can fully detox from it. I guess it's a matter of time and how hard you go with it, how much you drink and how much you apply on your skin. But you can definitely help yourself with it, because due to its nature of being negatively charged, you can detox the heavy metals. Nowadays they say there are some gene mutating toxins in it. I don't know if that's reversible. I really don't know what really exists in these vaccines, but definitely being on Orine therapy will help to get rid of the side effects and to decrease them to minimum.
Okay, very good, very good. And
Could
then
excuse me, Arik, just one question connected to this. When the negatively charged Orine absorbs metals, the toxins in the body, and it has to flush it out, the flushing out is through which channel? Okay. I also read that you should not drink urine that is produced between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. Is it because the urine is using some elimination of toxic material at that time? Or it's not true?
No, like I said, really don't fall into any trap, any dogma for Orine therapy. There's no rules when it comes to Orine therapy. There's no such a thing as just drink the midstream, just drink the end, or I mean, just don't drink it between 2 and 4 a.m. I had it between 2 and 4 a.m. so many times. It's like the best thing. When you wake up, it's like your colon is already cleansed out, you flush it out, and you have a beautiful day. I mean, I don't see any reason why one wouldn't consume it during those hours.
Okay. But the negatively charged toxins are then flushed out through the feces, so that's clear.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Because what happens is negatively charged water encapsulates the positively charged, and it becomes a whole. So it's not vibrating as much, and it's not trying to complement itself, complete itself with anything else. It becomes a whole, and then it gets flushed out.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, great. And then another question is she mentioned something earlier about struggling with hypothyroidism. Can she please share how she managed to reverse it?
So I think that was mostly related to the heavy metals in my body, because I got vaccinated so many times in my life when I was a little kid. And then my dad was really concerned about my family getting hepatitis. So I got vaccine for those. And then when I moved to United States, in order for me to get a green card and to become a citizen, I had to get certain vaccines. In order for me to complete my master's degree at college here, I had to get a vaccine. It was like so many times. And that's why I think my thyroid went really down, and because it usually happens due to heavy metals. And I think the Orin really cleaned out those from my body, where my TSH levels, thyroid stimulating hormone, they all came back to normal. And that's why when I didn't need the medication anymore. But you know, who knows how Orin is really working? It's still a mystery, because there's no, like, I mean, there are a lot of scientific reports due to it having stem cells and regenerating organs and so on. But this is really the energy of your soul. Like, it works on all levels. Maybe it's cleaning your emotional body, and then the body heals itself, you know. It's working on such deep levels that to really explain how it works is really challenging.
Yeah, cool. Okay, and then there is another question. Does Tucca feel that Orine therapy is more effective than dry fasting, generally speaking?
Well, I think it's hard to compare, but when I was practicing dry fasting 2 days a week, and for 90 days of juice fasting, I couldn't heal my irregular cycles. But when I drank just 1 cup a day for a month, it healed. So this by any means doesn't mean, of course, dry fasting is not good for you. It's great, but I see dry fasting as like this. So let's imagine a sponge, right? Like a dish cleaning sponge. And it has all the food residues on it, right? Some grease, some dried foods on it. I see dry fasting as squeezing it like this, where it is going to release some toxins, right? But Orin fast is wetting this sponge underwater so that all that dried residue mucus gets loosened up. And then when you squeeze it, everything comes out better. That's how I imagine it. I don't know if this is true on the scientific level, but this is what I see. So I think it's really great to really hydrate the body, loosen up the mucus and the hardened plaque in the body with the Orine therapy. And then if you feel comfortable, like going to the dry fast later on and doing for 3-4 days, however you're comfortable. I think that's really good, because then you really release a lot.
Wow, amazing. Okay, and then we have just 2 more questions or something like that, and then we are going to wrap it up. So a question, do you know the nutrition content of urine, protein, fat, carbs, vitamins, minerals, etc.?
Great question. So it has no fats, no glucose. It's only minerals, stem cells, and so on. It's a complete electrolyte. It has 102 minerals in it, and also some vitamins. So yeah, you can even get B12 vitamin from your Orin.
Wow.
So sorry, and it also has a lot of enzymes.
Okay, cool.
Oh, one more thing, sorry. And it also has a higher content of urea, which is very antiviral, antibacterial, and that's where it gets all the properties, you know. Urea amount is very high, I believe over 90%.
Okay, good. And then the next question, does Tucca need much sleep?
Oh, okay, great question. So if I'm on only juices and Orin, I sleep only like 4 hours. If I have 1 meal a day, then I sleep 5-6 hours. When I was doing my 90-day juice fast, I was so like on such light energy that I was sleeping only like 3-4 hours, I think.
Wow.
really depends on what I consume that day. If I have a heavier raw vegan meal, then I sleep 6 hours, 7 hours, but it never really goes up to 7. It's usually up to 6.
Amazing, amazing. And I think that we are going to go to the last question, and then we are going to talk a little bit about Tucca's services. So do you still dry fast?
No, I don't do it anymore. I just do Orin fasts now.
Okay, very good, very good. Okay, so we still have questions, but it's been almost 2 hours and a half so far. So Tucca, maybe we'll meet again in a few weeks, and then we will just continue, because apparently it is such a hot subject, you know, or in therapy, people are so interested in that. So one webinar is for sure not enough for that.
Yeah, for sure. I'm always.
Yeah. But for now, I would love to ask you about the services that you provide. For example, if someone is watching this particular video and they feel they resonate with what you're saying and they want to help themselves and ask and like, what would be your suggestion? How can they contact you, and what kind of services that they can get from you, etc.?
Sure. So the best way to contact me would be through Instagram. If they go to my account, which is called Plasma_Goddess, it's, I think, written here below. So if they go to my account, they can always DM me, or they can go to the link in my bio on my Instagram. And I'm offering one-to-one health coaching sessions. I'm also speaking at a panel coming up this Saturday about, it's called Fearless Fasting. We're going to be talking about any fears that people may have about fasting and Orine fasting and juice fasting and so on. So if you're in the area of New York, New Jersey, you're welcome to come and join in person. If you're not, it can be streamed from anywhere in the world. And also the link is again on my bio on Instagram. The first one called Fearless Fasting. You can purchase tickets from there. Also, I'm planning a workshop coming up for the 2nd of October and 3rd of October. It's going to be called Everything You Need to Know About Orine Alchemy. And it's going to be like 2 to 3 hours each day, Saturday and Sunday. You're welcome to join to that. And if you want to join, again, you can DM me, message me on Instagram. And what else? I think that's all.
Yeah. Tucca, could you please tell us more about this panel that is going to be organized? It's going to be on Sunday, right? Sunday or?
It's this Saturday, tomorrow, actually.
Ah,
Yes.
okay. So, but because you mentioned that you will be there, some other speakers will be there, but I haven't really. What is the main idea there of this panel?
Sure. So there are about 5 to 6 speakers. The whole conversation is going to turn around about fasting and how Orine therapy aids it and how breath work aids it. So it's going to take place from 5 p.m. tomorrow to 9 p.m. I think, or 10. Yeah, Nick Caputo, also known as Grub from the Garden, is going to be there. Nika Bushadi and a couple of other speakers, and including me. So we're just gonna talk about, the benefits of fasting, and also get questions from the audience to see what kind of fears anyone might have regards to fasting, and like talk about the benefits in general.
Amazing. Yeah, so guys, we will just put this video is going to be uploaded on our YouTube channel very soon, maybe in a few hours or maximum tomorrow in the morning. And then we are going to put the link to your Instagram page. and then people are going to contact you, people who are interested. And what about the workshop that you are planning next month? Like, what's the main idea? Is it going to be fasting? Like people will be Orin fasting during those 2 days, or it's just kind of informative workshop? What's your idea about that?
Thanks for asking. So the one I'm planning for the 2nd of October and 3rd of October is going to be more informative and experimental. So we could also do Orine fast, but I was just thinking, actually, that's a great idea. Maybe we can do one for 2 days. And but also, by the way, I don't know if he's still here. Let me check. Marco. Oh yeah, he's still here.
Yeah.
Marco is also going to come and give a speech because he's very experienced in Orine fasting as well. So I'm gonna have a few speakers and also gonna tell my experience and what helped me to ease my journey when I'm fasting, like enemas and body rubs and all about that, and all the other tools that I use, like such as this one, eye soaps with this, and goggles. Like I'm just gonna be telling everything I know about it. So it's gonna be like a introduction almost, but also for people who are also already experiencing, I think it's good to just refresh their knowledge, So what it's going to be about. And then I'm also planning for the coming up months, such as November, December, I'm planning to create another workshop for either 7 days or 9 days, where we'll be checking in every day on a Zoom call and doing a juice plus Orin fast. Because I think Orin fast for 7 or 9 days might be maybe too much for some, but juice and Orin together is very easy, in my opinion. So I'm planning one for that. So that's going to be for every week of coming up months, November, December, and then hopefully January, February, every month.
Amazing. Tucca, and what kind of personal coaching are you giving? Is it like personal coaching or health coaching? Could you please elaborate on that?
Sure. So it's health coaching mainly. I always ask my clients to keep a food journal, and then I always, preach about oral therapy and how it's beneficial. And most of them are usually already practicing, but even if they are not, I try to get them on, and it's usually adjusting their food sources, how to make them more healthier, more lighter, more beneficial, more therapeutic for them, and also ways to incorporate Orin more into their daily routine. That's usually what it's about, but I also always like show emotional support, and this change that we do in the physical foods and with Orin therapy does not really only affect your physical like essence, but it also affects you on emotional, it affects your emotional body, your mental body, and even your astral body. It affects you on all levels. It's a holistic healing. It's all as a whole, even if it seems like we are entering from the portal of physicality, it's actually doesn't stay there. It's like enlivens you so much emotionally and spiritually. So we call it health coaching, but it's also like life coaching at the same time.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, Tucci, so thank you very much. We'll get all the details, guys. You will get all the details about contacting Tucci below this video. I just want to ask before we finally wrap it up for today, if someone wants to start practicing Orine therapy, someone who has never practiced it before, what would be the right gradient? What would be the first step that you would recommend so that it is not overwhelming?
That's a great question. Thank you. So the best way, in my opinion, is to if it doesn't taste good, or if it's cloudy or smelly in any way, to clean up your diet. That's the best way. Like you can just start eating more living foods, more hydrating foods, more foods that have higher water content in them, such as like watermelons and grapes and all these amazing fruits. This way your blood is going to get thinner and more water-based, and therefore your Orine is gonna be more water-based, and it's gonna taste better, look better, it's gonna be clear. So this is one of the best ways. And the second one is to drink more distilled water. Distilled water by itself is very cleansing. It cleans the whole body from inorganic minerals, residues, toxins. By doing that, you'll not only help your body clean, but also make your blood clean and your Orine get cleaner. So that's another way. And then also, if you have issues with the taste, I know that papayas make it taste really good. This was actually Monica Schutz's suggestion, who practices it for 25 years. And you can try that. But yeah, if by just changing your one meal a day to a living food meal, you will feel the difference. And then as soon as you do more and more, you will see your water becoming cleaner and clearer, more transparent, and in the end it will taste like coconut water.
Amazing. Tucca, and in terms of the amount of urine for the beginners, like how much, because you mentioned that you just started from 1 glass, so that's what you would recommend, or could you please elaborate on that?
Sure. So they can definitely start with 1 glass and see how they feel. And then if they feel comfortable, next day 2 glasses, 3 glasses. They can increase it depending on how they feel. If they're already feeling some detox effects like a headache or severe diarrhea or I don't know, fever, then they can keep it at that level for a while. Like if they're having 1 bottle a day and they're getting fevers, keep it at 1 bottle for a while until that detox symptoms goes away, and then you can increase it. You know, there's no reason to do it so like rapidly at a high dosage. I had a client who just started and she was like, okay, I'm gonna do aged Orine right away, and I'm gonna also pour it from my ear for my ears and so on. And then she had such a heavy detox that she was feeling very uncomfortable. So I wouldn't suggest that. I would suggest to go like slow and steady.
Amazing. Okay, Tucca, so I think we will wrap it up here, and then we will be in touch for our next meeting, because I think it's not enough.
I'll be happy to come again and talk about it. Favorite subject to talk about.
Absolutely. So thank you very much. It was very, very special, informative, inspiring, and just mind-blowing. So thank you so much for sharing with us your wisdom, your knowledge, your experience. Right, guys? I'm sure everyone loves it. Yeah, regardless of the fact whether they will be doing it or not doing it, but you know, just the energy, just the vibrations, the inspirations. Yeah.
So much. Thank you so much for having me and for giving me a chance to, you know, voice my truth, because I think, like you said, not everyone has to practice it, but I think it's everyone's birthright to know about this, that they have this medicine within them and it's coming continuously. You know, they always have it with them wherever they go. And so, yeah, thank you so much. And thank you for everyone joining. And I really enjoyed your questions, and yeah, thank you for listening to me.
Thank you very much, Tucca. Thank you. We love you.
See you next time.
See you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye, everyone.